This version of Twelfth Night with Prime Stage Theatre is set in Portugal, and Andy, the director, was really interested in exploring fado in Twelfth Night. And you know, I've gotten to write in a lot of different styles, but fado was not one of them. So I did have to do a lot of research. I drowned myself in that musical style for a very long time, and I researched just the structure of it. And one of the things that I soon realized was that style, what makes it so unique was that it has a Portuguese guitar, which is a 12-string instrument that has a very unique and beautiful tinny sound. And luckily there is a fella here named Gil who does play the Portuguese guitar, so we were able to work with him, and we have recordings of that in the show. And we have a lovely character by the name of Dana, who's playing Festi, who plays classical and nylon string guitar and is singing the songs as well. So fado is a very vocally driven form, so you have to have the pipes to really pull that off, and luckily we have just the right guy to do it. I listen to a lot of different styles of Portuguese music, and fado, there's kind of a Lisbon form which is a little more upbeat and I guess you could say a little happier, and then there's another form which is kind of a more mournful sound. I would liken fado, though, the more I researched it, I realized it's kind of like the Portuguese blues. It comes from people who are singing about the harsh realities of life. It's born from oppression. And it also has West African influences, just like our American blues does as well. So I found them to be very, very similar. And when you break it down, the actual structure of the music, it's quite simple. But it is the Portuguese guitar and the modalities and the scales inside of that make that sound so different from American blues. Wonderful thing. I got to have the best lyricist in the world, which is Shakespeare. And so his lyrics, they lend themselves to a melody. There's a meter already there. And one of the challenges that I loved was how do you set this English meter and make it make sense inside of a Portuguese style, which is a completely different language and a style of music that lends itself to Portuguese as opposed to Shakespearean text. But it was a really fun challenge to get the tone of Portuguese fado and then kind of weave the Shakespearean text around that. There is, though, some opportunity that we created to insert some Portuguese language into the song, so you'll hear a little bit of a mix of different languages. There is, within the text, some of the music is much more somber, which I think was a really fun and wise choice of Andy, the director, to choose Portugal and to choose fado, because some of the lamenting of love really echoes that style, which I think was really fun for me as a composer to explore. But there are some moments in the music that are more upbeat, that there is a lovely dance number that happens in this show. But there's also a really sad piece that contemplates death and living with nothing. So I did get to it. I was very lucky that I got to explore different tones. And when one